You wake up, the weather is grey, nothing bad has happened, but something feels off. Later that day, you receive an email that requires a decision, nothing urgent, just a simple choice, but you hesitate, you feel a vague discomfort, you delay, you close the tab. Most people will tell you that emotions cloud judgment, that good decisions require cold logic, that feelings are noise to be filtered out. They are wrong. What you just experienced is not noise, it is data, a signal your body sent you before your conscious mind even noticed. And the difference between people who make consistently good decisions and those who don't comes down to one thing: whether they know how to read that signal. Think of your brain as having two operators. One is fast, automatic, emotional. The other is slow, deliberate, rational. For centuries, philosophers told us the rational operator should always be in charge. Emotions, distractions, interruptions, the enemy of good judgment. But modern neuroscience tells a different story. The neurologist Antonio Damasio studied patients who had damage to the part of the brain that processes emotions. On paper, these patients were perfect decision makers. Their logic was intact, their intelligence was normal, they could list all the pros and cons of any choice with perfect clarity. But here is what happened. They could not make a single decision. They would spend hours debating whether to meet on Tuesday or Wednesday. They could not choose a restaurant. They could not pick a pen color. Without emotional signals, every choice became an endless calculation with no conclusion. Damasio's conclusion was revolutionary. Emotions are not obstacles to reason, they are essential to it. The somatic marker hypothesis proposes that decision-making is a process that depends on emotion, and damage to the brain's emotional centers makes it impossible to use the bodily signals necessary for guiding decisions in the advantageous direction. Your emotions are your body's way of saying, this matters or this does not. Without them, you have no compass. So in 2007, a team of neuroscientists at UCLA conducted an fMRI study that changed how we understand emotional awareness. They showed participants upsetting images, scenes of violence, suffering, disaster, and they asked them to do one simple thing: put a name to what they were feeling. I feel sad, I feel disgusted, I feel afraid. What they discovered was remarkable. The act of naming an emotion reduced activity in the amygdala, the brain's alarm system that triggers fight or flight responses. At the same time, it activated the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, focus, and decision-making. Labeling an emotion reduces amygdala activity, allowing the prefrontal cortex to step in with clarity and calm. This process is called affect labeling, and it takes less than 2 seconds. Here is what that means for you. The next time you feel overwhelmed before a decision, anxious, angry, uncertain, do not try to push the feeling away. Do not pretend it is not there. Simply say to yourself, I notice anxiety, or I feel frustration rising, or there is fear here. That small act shifts your brain from reactive mode to reflective mode. Your working memory strengthens. You gain the ability to pause, reinterpret, and choose a response instead of being hijacked by impulse. It calms the body, clears the mind, and opens the door to wiser choices. But here is where most people stop too early. They learn to name emotions, good, but they name them crudely. I feel bad, I feel good, I feel stressed. That is not enough. Psychologists Lisa Feldman Barrett and Maria Gendron have studied what they call emotional granularity, the ability to make fine distinctions between similar emotional states. People with low emotional granularity describe everything as simply upset or fine. People with high emotional granularity can distinguish between disappointment, frustration, anxiety, and overwhelm. Why does this matter? Because each of these emotions carries different information and suggests different responses. Frustration might mean your expectations are unclear. Anger might mean a boundary has been crossed. Anxiety might mean you lack information. Disappointment might mean your values were not honored. One study proposed that effective judicial decision-making does not require a dispassionate judge, but a judge who is high in emotional granularity. The same is true for you. When you can say not just I feel bad, but I feel disappointed because I expected recognition and did not receive it, you have turned a vague fog into actionable data. The research shows that increased emotional granularity results in increased emotional clarity, which facilitates better decision-making. Each precise label helps lower impulsive responses, increase awareness of perspective, and encourage self-control in stressful situations. Let us bring this into a concrete example. Imagine you are in a meeting. A colleague disagrees with your idea. Suddenly your chest tightens, your jaw clenches, you feel hot. Most people in this situation react immediately. They defend, attack, or withdraw. That is the amygdala taking over. But now imagine a different path. You pause. You notice the sensation. You label it. I notice anger. Then you go deeper. This is not just anger. This is frustration mixed with a feeling of being dismissed. That moment of labeling creates space. In that space, your prefrontal cortex activates. You can now ask yourself, what is this emotion telling me? The frustration might be telling you that you care about this idea. The feeling of being dismissed might be telling you that respect matters to you. Now you can respond instead of react. You can say, I notice I feel strongly about this. Can I explain my reasoning differently? That is not weakness, that is mastery. Studies of leaders with high emotional intelligence show that they view emotions as informational resources rather than obstacles, and intentionally integrate emotional awareness into their decision-making processes. They use emotional regulation to reduce impulsivity and self-awareness to identify and correct their own biases. So here is your challenge. This is not theory. This is a daily practice that changes how your brain works. Step 1. Pause. Before any significant decision, take 3 seconds. Just 3. Feel what is happening in your body. Step 2. Name it. Use a specific word. Not bad, anxious, frustrated, excited, overwhelmed. Research shows that recognizing and labeling emotions can lead to better decision-making and problem-solving as you are more in touch with your feelings. Step 3. Ask the question, what is this emotion telling me about what I value or need in this situation? Step 4. Decide. Not perfectly, just consciously. The science is clear. Emotions are not the enemy of good decisions. They are the foundation. The question is not whether you feel. The question is whether you know what you are feeling. Most people walk through life being pushed around by emotions they never take the time to name. They react. They regret. They wonder why the same patterns repeat. You can choose differently, not by eliminating emotions, but by learning to read them. Each time you name an emotion with precision, you are building new neural pathways. Over time, this practice literally reshapes your brain, making it easier to calm down, recover quickly, and respond with resilience the next time strong feelings show up. You do not need to become a robot. You need to become a translator. Your body is sending you a signal every moment of every day. Most people ignore it. A few learn to hear it, and those few make decisions that are not just smarter, but truer. So the next time you feel something rising, do not push it away. Do not pretend it is not there. Simply pause, name it, ask what it wants you to know, and then decide,